What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cornelia back for another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. First things first, I got shows, y'all. I had a good round of shows last weekend in San Diego at the Comedy Store. 4 shows, 2 nights. It was a great run. I also have some other shows in LA coming up, and I will also be in Oxnard, California in September for another full weekend. So you still have time to grab tickets. Check my website, Cornelia.com, for more information. Also, thank you and keep supporting this podcast, Black News, and also the Flex Zone podcast that is on YouTube and all apps where podcasts can be heard. Appreciate the support that you're currently showing and the support in advance, because some of y'all ain't listening, but y'all gonna head over there and check it out. So thank y'all for all of that and just showing love. So with that said, let's get into it. Comic-Con was this past weekend, and Marvel Studios finally released the trailer for Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther sequel. Y'all, when I tell y'all I'm so hyped for this movie, and I'm sad. I am so sad. I'm gonna be crying. I'm gonna be crying at that movie. So just in case y'all not Marvel fans, have not been following and have only been watching Black Panther, because I know a lot of people who just tuned into Black Panther, they didn't know nothing about no Marvel, no phase 1, 2, 3, 4, none of that. They didn't know about the Avengers. They thought Marvel did Black Panther as a standalone. Okay. But we are now in phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, heading into phase 5 and 6. What that means, there are a slate of movies and shows that are locked into each phase, and each phase has a certain intention, tells a story, or leads the cinematic universe into a direction. Black Panther is wrapping up phase 4. Now, at Comic-Con, they usually, Marvel and Kevin Feige, who heads up Marvel Studios, is there. He announces the phase, tells the fans what's next, what's coming. And in this case, Ryan Coogler, this is Ryan's movie. Okay. This is his. And I'll get into, talking about Ryan Coogler in a little bit, but Ryan, was on stage, and before he got on there to introduce Wakanda Forever, they had a beautiful presentation with some African drummers and dancers. And then when Ryan got up there, he introduced the cast, some new cast members, and he talked about Chadwick Boseman's legacy and how he can feel his presence. The entire cast was very emotional, rightfully so, because again, the leader of their ship, their captain, passed away. And so midway, y'all know Ryan Coogler was pretty much done with the script, or getting done with the script, when Chadwick Boseman passed. So they had to rewrite a lot of this. But they debuted the trailer. So a couple things. Super emotional. No Woman, No Cry was the theme music at the beginning of the trailer. Original Bob Marley song, but in this case sung by Tim's. They remixed it towards the back end of the trailer with Kendrick Lamar's All Right. And what was happening in the trailer, the words that were being sung and what was happening on screen was matching up. So in a way, we can kind of get an idea to an extent about what's going on. Some people were saying, before I get into that, it looks like, and this ain't spoiler, this was the trailer. If you don't be watching trailers, then I guess this spoiler alert. I know a couple people who don't, but we talking about it. It looks like they're addressing that T'Challa is dead. It looks like a funeral procession. They were wearing all white. It looks like there's going to be some reconciliation about that, what's going to happen. And it looks like the character Namor from the Marvel Comics, who has an underwater Atlantis storyline, will be, the antagonist. At one point, it looked like the entire city of Wakanda was being flooded. So a lot going on. It looks like they are, going to introduce someone else in the Panther suit, because at the end of the trailer, somebody was wearing that outfit. We don't know who it is. People were trying to analyze the body type, the build, the color of the suit, all of this stuff. We don't know who in that suit. Their theories. I know my theory. I hope it ain't Shuri. I hope it's not her. She was getting tossed around in that first one. She flimsy. Okay. I just don't. And in the comics, this was some of my comic book, and like, I don't like the word nerd, but I'm gonna use it. Some of my comic book nerd friends were saying in the comics that Shuri eventually becomes Black Panther. I just don't hope it's her, because I don't think that she would have become Black Panther this fast. You got to build into that. You have to build into that position, and just straight out of part one. Come on now. But whatever. I'm down for whatever I'm going to be watching. People were also saying that maybe it's Killmonger, who was played by Michael B. Jordan. Y'all, they need to let him go. Let's get somebody new. They need to recast Black Panther. Recast it, and not recast it with Michael B. Jordan or somebody. Just, y'all, we got to start anew. Anyway, overall, it was, like I said, it was extremely emotional. And I don't think we, as the Black community and the Black delegation, are ready for this. We already be emotional. We already connected to this storyline. Y'all, I think it's going to be hard to get through at least that first half of the movie, if that's when they address the death of T'Challa. On another note, what we going to wear? Y'all know we dress up. We got to dress up. For the first movie, we wore our African garb, African colors, kente cloth, all black. If it made us feel like we was super black or black as hell, we put it on. People were on social media saying this time we should wear all white, even though it's after Labor Day, but we don't give a damn. Because in some African traditions, white is worn when you're celebrating the life and death of someone. And in the movie, it looked like they had on their all white at T'Challa's funeral. So people saying we wearing all white. If that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and get my outfit now before they take it off the shelves, because the store stopped selling them white jeans early. I'm going to get my white as a backup just in case. I usually don't do all white parties and things, because that's a little too hood for me. Because if y'all notice, only hood parties be having all white. They don't be doing that nowhere else. But in this case, I'm going to put it on. I also want to take a quick minute to talk about Ryan Coogler. If this movie is as good as I think it's going to be, if this movie is as great and spectacular and beautifully shot and written as I think it's going to be, we really need to start including Ryan Coogler in the conversation about the greatest filmmakers of this current generation. We gonna have to, the conversation should have started, but it's gonna start, because Ryan Coogler ain't missed. Ryan Coogler has not missed. Fruitvale Station was good. Creed 1 was good. Black Panther was good. Wakanda Forever gonna be good. Whatever Ryan Coogler directs, he don't miss. So I'm just putting it out there. I want us to start gearing up that conversation, because we're going to have to be behind our boy in support of this conversation that continues to push his directing capabilities and abilities to the next level. Okay. Lastly, I saw, everybody been chiming in about this, and some people, for the most part, it seemed like most people were, happy about the trailer and excited. It was a couple raggities and ashies on social media complaining and talking shit. One particular comment I saw where one dude was mad because there were so many women in the trailer, because there was so many black women in the trailer, and he was upset. There were so many black women. The agenda.
they're trying to break down the black family and take black men out of the home. So in the trailer, they were just perpetuating the agenda against black men.
Y'all shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Y'all. Black Panther was written with women in mind and strong women around his character since the first Black Panther comic came out years ago, decades ago. Black Panther is known for those things. He wasn't in the trailer because Chadwick died. So yeah, the trailer is going to have the women in his life surrounding him in a space of trying to navigate without him being there. Yes, there were women in the trailer because they lived in Wakanda. Y'all, we got to stop this.
The agenda.
Shut up. I'm making a statement. If you can't enjoy stuff, and if you one of those people who just be complaining to be complaining, or if you too much of a hotep to just watch a movie and have a good time, stay at home. They don't need your ticket sales. You need to stay at home. You need to stay at home. I can't. Y'all. With that said, what do y'all think about the trailer and the movie? Are y'all as excited as I am? And yet I know you are. Because I'm going to be in that thing. I'm getting my tickets now. They not even on sale. I'm waiting in line for these like they them Usher tickets in Las Vegas. I'm going to be there. Let me know y'all thoughts about the trailer. If there were some nuggets or Easter eggs that you noticed that I, may have missed. I've been watching all of the YouTube breakdowns to kind of analyze it. I ain't even going to hold you. I want to know everything that's going on. Let me know if you're on the same page. Hit me up at Cornelia. Speaking of movies, the Emmett Till movie will be premiering this summer at the New York Film Festival. This will be the first time that Emmett Till's story has been told on the big screen from what I remember. There may be some small movies. Y'all know sometimes back in the day they was making them made for TV movies. I think this might be the first big budget Emmett Till movie that's coming out. Now, Emmett Till is the boy who was murdered in Mississippi by a mob of angry white people. He was accused by this white woman, Carolyn Bryant, of whistling and making inappropriate comments at her. That is not the case. He was then dragged out of his uncle's or his family member's home in the middle of the night. He was tortured, beaten, mutilated, shot, and hung, and then thrown into one of the bodies of water in Mississippi. That incident was one of the major things that sparked the civil rights movement. The picture of Emmett's disfigured body was published unedited in Jet magazine and was eventually spread across the country and the world. His mother, Mamie, wanted those images made public so people could see what was done to her son. And then in turn, that did kick into action a new level of activism for Black people and our rights in America. Now, I was on social again looking around, and it seems like Black people, some are mad that there's going to be an Emmett Till movie. People were saying things like, we already know this story. How many times you going to keep doing this? We need to stay away from and stop watching and making trauma porn. Tell some new stories. Why do they keep feeding us this? They trying to keep us down. They don't want us to know about the positive aspects of Black history, yada, yada, on and on. Now, I will say this. People's feelings are valid, right? I can see the perspective behind some of those thoughts. We often hear in Hollywood, all they do is make slave movies. We often hear all of these things. But for me, I get bothered because there's such a lack of perspective behind that. Even when we talk about slave movies, slavery lasted in the Western Hemisphere for over 400 years. 12 slave movies being made ain't gonna hurt you. These people, our ancestors, were human beings. So complaining that they have their stories being told and you're tired of it, To me, that's asinine. So what if you're exhausted? They lived it. They were real people. They had names, and that was what they endured. So guess what? They deserve to have stories told. That's like you having your mother being attacked and you being like, somebody being like, we sick of hearing about it. I ain't with it. But in this case, if my son was murdered and that contributed to sparking the civil rights movement, or being one of the main things that really kicked it into gear or to the next level, you damn right I want 40,000 movies about it. If that were my son, I want all of the movies, and I ain't gonna stop until all of them are made. To me, it's just very audacious for somebody to say something like, we need to stop telling these stories. And with that in mind, I think Black people tend to forget that, one, all Black people don't know history, Black history. We like to assume just because we knew about something that everybody at all the corners of America, in all of the communities, with all the different backgrounds and all the different access to education and information and all of the different levels of education that we have as Black people in totality, we forget that all of them don't know the same things that we know. Hell, some of y'all, and I put y'all in air quotes because I'm talking only if this apply to you, it apply. If it don't, let it fly. Some of y'all didn't know what Juneteenth was till last year. I just saw on social media somebody posting that a Black woman that she didn't know what a sundown town was until this year. Some of us knew what that was. Is she wrong for not knowing? Are they less than because they didn't know about Juneteenth? Is someone less than because they may not know the story of Emmett Till? Stop assuming that all Black people know all the history, because we know for a fact they don't. With that said, movies like this, sometimes they ain't made for us with us in mind. So with that carrying on, stop assuming that other demographics know our history. If all Black people don't know these stories, the hell you think all white people know it? They literally probably don't know anything about it. If this movie gonna be in theaters, let them go watch it. They need to learn. Because when they don't know, y'all be complaining that they don't know nothing. So when the movie made so they can learn, because some people ain't gonna read.
Why we gotta have movies about this in theaters? Why?
So they can learn. How else they gonna learn? I just saw a video on social media where Tom Hanks was talking about how he is his big old age, and he literally just learned about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with Black Wall Street, maybe last year, because he read an article in the New York Times. Tom Cruise is in his 60s. He got access to information, to money, to resources, and he admitted that he didn't know nothing about it. Now take somebody Tom Hanks' age. Did I say Tom Cruise or Tom Hanks? I meant Tom Hanks if I said Cruise. Take somebody his age who may live in podunk, no dunk, who don't have access to anything. Don't be looking at the New York Times. Don't be following no news of Black people. Don't know no Black people, because a lot of people don't know no Black people. Only Black person they know is Sterling K. Brown's character on This Is Us. Let's keep it a buck. Now imagine them. You think they know the story of Emmett Till? Where would they read it? They don't read nothing that got nothing to do with no Black people. They don't know. So if Emmett Till movie want to come out and they play the instant theaters and they take their ass over there to watch it, good for them. We just need to stop this.
Why they gotta keep making this?
Because y'all don't know nothing. And I talking about y'all, the Black News listeners. I'm talking about the Ashies. With that in mind, how y'all feel about it? I don't know if I'm going to... knowing me, I probably will go to the movies and watch. I'm one of those people, if something happens to us as a people, I want them to show all of it in the movie. I don't want them to hold back, because it wasn't held back on us. And if we got to endure it, you need to see it. If they went through it, the least we can do is watch. I felt like that about the Nat Turner movie. When Nate Parker starred and directed the Nat Turner movie, to me, it was a little too soft. The things that happened and the events that led up to that, the rebellion, and what happened during the rebellion, it was brutal. And they needed to show it all. Show it. They didn't show it, so I was upset because they didn't go there. I'm one of those people. Take it there. People need to see exactly what happened and the trauma, not because it's trauma porn, But people have romanticized these events, and in their minds, it wasn't as bad as it was. People need to see how bad it was. But again, what y'all think? Y'all gonna go watch it till? I mean, I might go check it out. I'm gonna check it out. And when I do, I'll come here on Black News and let y'all know my thoughts about it. But hit me up if you have plans to see it as well. Now, while praising Keke Palmer for all of the great work that she's done over the years, people on Twitter started comparing her career trajectory to that of Zendaya's, and then chimed in to say that colorism was to blame for why she is not as known or as far along as Zendaya. Now, this kind of took me by surprise. Not the conversation of colorism, but the fact that, Keke was having a great week. Nope came out in theaters. I heard she killed it. I ain't watched the movie yet. I'm gonna go see it. But people was just like, bam, next colorism. And Keke don't need this right now. And based on her responses, it sounded like she was bobbing and weaving trying to get out of it, because I mean, hey, if I'm having a fantastic month of promo, this ain't really how I want to cap it off in some cases. Now, Keke originally responded to the tweet that said something to the effect. And she didn't really respond directly to this, I don't think, but we knew that's what she was talking about. The original tweet that went viral said, "I'd like someone to do a deep dive on the similarities and differences between Keke Palmer and Zendaya's career. This may be one of the clearest examples of how colorism plays out in Hollywood. They were both child stars, but their mainstream popularity is very different." Now, there could be some truth to that. That is very valid. Even Zendaya at some point in interviews has spoken about, her being a light-skinned Black woman and how that has possibly affected her career, and that she wants Black women of all shades to be able to have the same opportunities as each other. Zendaya speaks out about that all the time. She also does a lot to uplift Black women and to make sure that we have visibility. So there ain't no shade on Zendaya. She doing her part, and she down for the cause. Now, someone else said, "It's so interesting seeing the conversation around Keke Palmer having her breakout or superstar moment. And it's wild we live in different worlds, because in my household, Keke been a star for forever. Akilah and the Bee was my dad's favorite movie. It went triple platinum in my home." Now, Keke Palmer came in and had some thoughts about the situation. She says, "A great example of colorism is to believe I can be compared to anyone. I'm the youngest talk show host ever, the first Black woman to star in her own show on Nickelodeon, and the youngest and first Black Cinderella on Broadway. I'm an incomparable talent. Baby, this is Keke Palmer." And there's that. Listen, Keke said, "I hear y'all, but I'm doing my thing. I'm doing this, X, Y, and Z, the first. Don't get it twisted. While y'all over here worrying about whatever y'all may be worrying about, I'm making moves, okay? I'm making history." And I support that. I support it. And I support how quickly she bobbed and weaved in and out of that topic, because one thing can happen. People can get distracted quickly, and this could be a fantastic moment to promote the movie that she's starring in, but can also segue fast into some drama. And it seemed like Keke ain't really got time for that right now. We know Keke will stand up for herself. She speaks up when things need to be said. And so I respect her comments and her response to this. And again, I also respect Zendaya, because Zendaya, she down. Ain't no Zendaya slander over here at all. But when we talking about the industry, we know for a fact that Hollywood does still follow old school colorism rules, and that is definitely in play. But with that, what are y'all thoughts on this? And I'm a little older, so by the time, I had a car and a job at the mall when Zendaya and Keke kind of, popped off. I was older, so they weren't my generation or demographic. But if they were yours, tell me about how they impacted your lives. Were they people or kids you looked up to when you were little as well? Let me know. Hit me up with your thoughts. Let's get into honorable mention. Now, y'all know I'm not going to close this episode out without talking about the fact that Beyonce has an album coming out on this Friday. By the time some of y'all listen to this podcast, the album will already be in my iTunes library. It will already be playing on my Bluetooth in the car. I'm going to have places to go just so I can listen to the album in the car. Because y'all know, when you get an album, you got to listen to it in your headphones. You got to listen to it in your car. And you got to listen to it in the house. So, hey, when y'all download Black News this episode, we already going to know what's up. But leading into that, this will be Beyonce's 7th studio album. The album title is Renaissance Act 1. She released the track listing who the writers and the producers behind each song. We don't know what it's going to sound like. We don't know what the vibe going to be. We just know we going to listen. We also should know that tour dates will probably follow, because one thing Beyonce going to do, she going to get that tour money. She going to work that album. She going to go on a world tour. And will I be buying tickets? Yeah, probably so. Will I be going? Of course. Who am I going with? I don't care. I'm going to be there. Okay. Are y'all as excited as me or the rest of the world for that matter? Y'all going to be downloading this album? Y'all going to listen to it? If you already listened to it by the time you listen to this Black News episode, what y'all think of the album? What y'all think? Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts about the songs, or what's your favorite song. Just tell me everything, okay? Hit me up and let me know. All right, to recap, Wakanda Forever will be coming out November 11th, 2022. We will be in theaters. No excuses. What we gonna wear still TBD, but we in the dang building. Speaking of movies, the Emmett Till movie titled Till will also be debuting this summer. Most likely it will be a part of the winter releases. And some of us will be watching, some of us will not. I probably will, but let me know your thoughts about it and how you feel about a movie like this being made. We also talked about the comparison between Zendaya and Keke Palmer and the topic of colorism. Do y'all think there's some valid discussion in that? Let me know, because I do, but I also respect Keke's position trying to bob and weave up out of that. She got things to do. She ain't really got time to be discussing this. And lastly, the Beyonce album comes out on Friday. We gonna be jamming. I'm listening to it. Let me know your thoughts about that and all of the topics that we discussed on this week's episode. And with that, I'll see you guys back here later. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again. Thank you. And thank you again so much for sticking with us, supporting the podcast, liking and subscribing on all apps where podcasts can be heard, rating 5 stars and leaving a comment. It helps more than you know. So I really, really appreciate it. And keep sharing Black News with all of your friends and family. Be sure to hit me up on social media if you got ideas for topics. Or just hit me up in general to let me know you've been listening. Let me know your thoughts. I'm at Cornelia on all platforms across the board. That's at Cornelia, like Kenny and Ophelia. Also check my website. I got some shows coming up in Los Angeles County. Hopefully get on the road soon. But for now, if you're in the LA area, hit me up. Check Cornelia.com for show dates and details. And as always, thanks again so much, guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Keep supporting, keep growing, keep building, keep staying safe, and keep staying healthy. As always, again, I'll see you back here next time, same time, same place. Bye.